What's good, YouTube? It's the Phasian here, bringing you another episode of Know Your Ruling. But before I get started on today's episode, I just like to say that I'm going to be bringing some new episodes, like new segments actually, and what to look out for would be on Monday. I'm going to be bringing out the segment Music Mondays, so look out for that this upcoming week. And I'm also going to be bringing a binder and trade update fairly shortly. I just didn't do it right before I went to regionals because I knew my binder would be changing. And so now that I got my binder all changed up, I'll be posting that pretty soon as well. But with further ado, I'm going to get started on today's segment. And the two cards I'm going to be doing today are Maxx C and Effect Veiler. Now, these two cards a lot of people know as hand traps because you play them from your hand instead of playing them on the field. Both are pretty good. They both have their benefits and disadvantages, of course. But so we'll get started on the most broken card, or one of the most broken cards of the format, and that is Maxx C. Now, Maxx C reads, you can activate this during either player's turn by sending this card from your hand to the graveyard. This turn, each time your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, draw one card, and you can only activate one Maxx C per turn. So, overall, pretty good. You could chain to card effects that special summon, like Monster Reborn, Call a Haunted, Premature Burial, if that was still around. But the reason I'm talking about this is because you cannot chain to inherit summons. Due to the fact in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's no such thing as chaining to a summon. There's only chaining to effects, and you can only respond to summons. So cards like Cyber Dragon or Black Luster Soldier, which are both inherit summons, you cannot chain to those, in fact. So say I have one monster on the field and you have no monsters, you can special summon Cyber Dragon from your hand, but in turn I cannot chain Maxx C to that summon. However, what I could do is when you special summon this, I could respond to Maxx C. I will not get the draw for the Cyber Dragon, but if you special summon anything else that turn, I'll get to draw one card for each of them. Another thing is, say I activate Black Luster Soldier. Like I start to remove my Light and Dark, and you activate Maxx C. Once Black Luster Soldier is summoned, you cannot draw for Maxx C because you cannot chain to the response of the cost of summoning the Black Luster Soldier since it's inherit summon. But say you trap Dust Shoot Me and you see that Black Luster Soldier's in hand, then you can activate Maxx C before I special summon the BLS. However, I probably wouldn't special summon it just because I know Maxx C's effect is active, which is the downfall. Another downfall on Maxx C is, say you attack my life points directly, and I pop Gores out. Since Gores activates during damage step, you cannot activate Maxx C to its effect because it activates during the damage step, and its effect of Maxx C is pretty much stated that there's no activating during the damage step. So when I summon Gores, even if when I summon its token, you cannot chain to the token summon, nor the Gores. And if you know your opponent has Reborn Tengu out, it's best to activate Maxx C before you attack the Tengu because you know that the Tengu is going to be special summoned more than likely. And once the battle phase happens and I send Reborn Tengu to the graveyard, you cannot chain the Maxx C to the Reborn Tengu effect because that activates during the damage step. So when in doubt, if you think your opponent has Gores in hand, pop the Maxx C before they pop the Gores out on you. That way you get your draws. Next card I'm going to be doing is Effect Veiler versus the main phase. Now, Effect Veiler reads, during your opponent's main phase, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to select one face-up effect monster your opponent controls. negate the effect or effects of that monster until the end phase of the turn. Now, Effect Veiler is not as good as Maxx C and is actually getting dropped from a lot of decks, but I still consider it a staple card in decks. But it has its downfalls, like can only be activated during the main phase. So when you see people activating Effect Veiler during battle phase, slap them in the face for me and tell them you can only activate that during the main phase. And it's your opponent's main phase. You can't activate this on your turn, so don't even try that with me. But another thing is, this is where the card gets a little tricky. Say I have my face up DD Warrior Lady, and you have a face down monster. I go in for my attack, or you don't want your monster to be removed. Like, say it's a Sangin, so you activate Effect Veiler, and when I attack your Sangin won't get removed by this effect because I can't activate the effect. However, say I haven't summoned in a couple turns, and I've just been poking you with this DD Warrior Lady, and this turn you have Effect Veiler, and you don't want your monster to get removed. But say I declare the end of my main phase by entering my battle phase. But before I enter my battle phase, you want to activate Effect Veiler. So you pop Effect Veiler during my end phase of my main phase. So what happens is I get to replay my main phase because you have just passed priority to me. So I could tribute summon my DD Warrior Lady for my Kaias, removing your face down monster if I wanted to. Now, I've gotten in a lot of fights on DN about this because most people think when you declare the end of your main phase, you could pop Effect Veiler, and that hence is allowing you to go to the battle phase. However, when you activate this during the end phase, it passes priority back to the player, so they could recall their main phase and activate other cards if they want, not entering you into the battle phase. And the reason being is, when moving through phases, both players have to come to a consensus or an agreement about moving from each phase. So when you activate Effect Veiler, we both have to agree that that is the end of the main phase before we move to the battle phase. So that is why I could recall my attack and recall my main phase when you activate Effect Veiler and tribute this off to summon Kaias. Now, I hope that helps a lot of people because it does get a little confusing right there. But as I always say, if you have any questions, leave a comment or PM me for anything. And even if you guys have a question that is not about Effect Veiler or Maxx C, ask me anyways, and I'll respond back to you as quick as possible, giving you a good explanation on what is allowed and what isn't. But so before I end, just remember, comment, like, subscribe if you dislike, honestly, and look out for Monday's new episode of Music Monday, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So I'll see you guys around, guys. Thanks.